Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. Today I'm going to go over the scores from yesterday's baseball exhibition games and look ahead to today's, as tomorrow, unbelievably, is the start of the season. I'll go over the soccer results from yesterday and this morning and look ahead to tonight and if there's games tomorrow morning as well. And I'll go over the schedule for the $3 million Open and predict the winner. I'll do my 2012 top 10 NBA players and games. I'll do my MLB closer rankings as the season begins tomorrow, and I'll have my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start with baseball, go over the exhibition scores, and look ahead to tonight's scores, or games, rather than. So without further ado, here we go. Astros over the Royals, 15-6. The story of this game is that the Astros just kept getting hit by pitches. Among notables to hit homers, George Springer and Ed Levy's Diaz. Getting the win was Brian Abreu. The loss, Jackson Cower. Ryan Presley actually was the opener of this game. An inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Abreu, 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Jackson Cower commanded the pen, 2 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. George Sparkman got the start, an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Nationals over the Orioles, 6-4. Getting the win was Patrick Corbin. The loss, Cole Stewart. Getting the save was Tanner Rainey. Nobody homered in this game. And Patrick Corbin, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Cole Stewart, 3 in the third inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Reds over the Tigers, 7-9. Pedro Strop the win. Beto Burrows the loss, and Raciel Iglesias the save. A lot of people homered in this game. Jacoby Jones, Jonathan Scope, Nico Goodrum, Freddie Galvis, Tucker Barnhart, Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez. And I talked about home runs for the Reds and the Tigers. Starting this game for the Reds was Nick Lodolo, their highly touted pitching prospect. He did not do well. An inning in the third, 8 hits, 5 runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Starting for the Tigers was youngster Dario Agrazel. 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, no walks, and a strikeout. And Beto Burrows, who was charged with the loss in inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, no walks, and a strikeout. And Pedro Strop was given the win with a scoreless inning, although a walk and a hit. The Braves over the Marlins, 10-9. A lot of runs in these exhibition games. Getting the win for Atlanta was Chad Sabaka, and the loss, Alex Vizia. Among notables, the homer, Miguel Rojas, Jorge Alfaro, Jonathan Villar. Matt Adams hit the walk-off homer. Jesus Sanchez hit the game-tying homer for the Marlins in the top of the 9th. And the Marlins are up 6-0 in this game. The Braves came all the way back and won. It's funny, this is a preseason game. I remember this happened to the Marlins in a regular season game. They were up big, and then the Braves just came marching back and won. Mike Fulton Everett started 4 in the third innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And Jose Urena for the Marlins, 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Blue Jays over the Red Sox, 8-6. Getting the win was Anthony Bass. The loss, Ryan Brazier, and the save, Rafael Dolis. Notables to home run, Mitch Moreland, J.D. Martinez, Derek Fisher. And Derek Fisher's homer was off of Matt Barnes, and there was a lot of Twitter jokes, obviously, because those were 2 former NBA players who Matt Barnes' ex-wife is now with Derek Fisher, so that's kind of an ironic thing there. Nate Pearson started 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Ryan Weber for the Red Sox, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Rockies over the Rangers 5-1. Getting the win was Ashton Goudeau and Kyle Gibson the loss. Notables to homer, Daniel Murphy, Nolan Arenado, David Dahl. Goudeau, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Gibson, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Dodgers over to Angels, 6-4. Josiah Gray the win, Felix Pena the loss, Kenley Jansen the save. Notables to homer, Tommy La Stella, Albert Pujols, Brian Goodwin, and Chris Taylor. Josiah Gray, 3 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Felix Pena, 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Giants over the Athletics, 4-2. Getting the win was Wandy Peralta, the loss Mike Fiers, and getting the save for San Francisco Sam Wolf. Notables to homer, Alex Dickerson and Mike Yastrzemski. Getting the start for San Fran was Tyler Rogers. An inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He was in an opener situation. And for Oakland was Mike Fiers, 3 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The last day of summer camp is today. Your matches, 4 o'clock Marlins Braves, 4:05 Royals Cardinals, 5:05 Indians Pirates, 6 o'clock Tigers Reds, 7 o'clock Twins Cubs, 7:30 Blue Jays Red Sox, 8 o'clock Rockies Rangers, 8:10 Brewers White Sox, 9:40 Padres Angels. So there you have it, your last day of summer camp, and the real show begins tomorrow, which will obviously preview and predict the games on the podcast. Now we'll do some soccer. We'll go over yesterday's Premier League games and look ahead to today's games. Interesting results, to say the least, in the Premier League yesterday. You had Manchester City over Watford 4-0. Man City 25-3-9, 78 points. Watford 8-10-19, 34 points. Aston Villa upsets Arsenal 1-0. Aston Villa 9-7-21, 34 points. And Arsenal 13-14-10, 53 points. 2 matches today. 1 o'clock you have Manchester United against West Ham. Man United 17-11-8, 62 points. West Ham 10-7-19, 37 points. The picks Man United. They're the better team. I think they want to leapfrog both Chelsea and Leicester City. So this is a golden opportunity for Manchester United to sneak into 3rd place in the Premier League. So give me Manchester United today at home against West Ham. And at 3:15 you have Liverpool and Chelsea. This is a great game. Liverpool 33-3, 93 points, and Chelsea 19-6-11 with 63 points. Liverpool has everything locked up. Chelsea is playing for 3rd place in the league. I made the case for Manchester United. So Manchester United, I think, is going to win and temporarily take over 3rd place. Chelsea's aware of that. So I think Chelsea's going to come out and upset Liverpool today. So give me Chelsea today on the road at Liverpool to get the job done, to get into 3rd place in the Premier League. And now MLS. Going to go over the games from last night and this morning and look ahead to tonight and tomorrow morning. Columbus over Atlanta 1-0. Columbus gets the win. They are now 3-0-0, 9 points. Atlanta's eliminated 0-0-3 with 0 points. Montreal over DC 1-0. Montreal gets an important win to keep themselves alive. 1-0-2 with 3 points. DC United 0-2-1 with 2 points. Going on right now is Sporting KC and Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake is trailing Sporting KC by a score of 1-0. KC scored in the first minute of the game on a goal by Johnny Russell. Tonight you have Cincinnati against the New York Red Bulls. I'm going to go with the Red Bulls here. The Cincinnati team is not good whatsoever. It's surprising that FC Cincinnati beat Atlanta the other day. Both these teams have 3 points and are 1-0-1. I think the Red Bulls are the better team. So give me the Red Bulls tonight over Cincinnati. 10:30 of Colorado and Minnesota. Minnesota 1-1-0, 4 points. Colorado 0-0-2 with 2 points. Colorado must-win game to keep themselves alive. So I'm going to go with Colorado here to knock off Minnesota to keep their season or their chances alive here. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock a.m., you have Chicago and Vancouver. This is Group F play. Chicago 1-0-1, 3 points. Vancouver 0-0-2, 0 points. Must win for Vancouver. I believe in do and must wins. I think Vancouver will step up. Chicago's not a good team. So give me Vancouver to get on the board and keep themselves alive in this tournament tomorrow morning against the Chicago Fire. Now I'm going to preview and predict the $3 million tournament. It's surprisingly not a good field for golf, obviously compared to last week. So, we'll look at the tee times for everybody that are notable. In the 750 window, among notables, you have Henrik Norlander, and you also have Emiliano Grillo and Kyle Stanley. In the 8 o'clock window, among notables, you have Brian Harman, Brian Gay, and George McNeil. In the 8-10 window, you really don't have anybody of note. In the 8:20 window, you have Luke Donald. DJ's in the 8:30 window, Dustin Johnson, and Tommy Fleetwood, and Tony Finau, so that's a good window. Oh, and so is Siwoo Kim. 8:40 window, you don't really have any either. 8:50, Doc Redman's in that window. 9 o'clock, you have Ixun Zhang in there. 9:10, you have SM Bay in that window. The 9:20 window, you have Patrick Rogers. 9:30, you don't have anybody of significance. 9:40, nobody really of significance either. 9:50, you have Harris English in there. And then in the 1 o'clock p.m. window, you don't have really anybody in there. 1:10, KJ Choi. 1:20, you really don't have any big names in there. 1:30, same thing, you don't have any other big names. Greg Chalmers is in there, though. 1:40, you got Bubba Watson, Lucas Glover in there, so a couple big names there. 1:50, you have DJ Trahan. Luke Liss is in the 2 o'clock window. Oh, wait, Trahan's in the 2 o'clock window. And you have Tommy Gainey in the 1:50 window. In the 2:10 window, you have KH Lee. 2:20, you really don't have anybody. Daniel Lee's in the 2:30 window, so is JJ Spawn. In the 2:40 window, nobody significant either. 2:50, you have Chase Koepka. I'm looking for Brooks Koepka. Where's he? 3 o'clock, you really don't have any big names either. But yeah, where's Brooks Koepka? Because I thought he was playing in this tournament on... Oh, he's in the 8:20 window. Okay, there you go. And speaking of Brooks Koepka, he's my pick to win. He's 14-1 on DraftKings. I think he's due for a breakthrough performance. He's not even favored to win this competition, which is ludicrous to me. So give me Brooks Koepka to win the $3 million Open. So that'll be his first win since the restart post coronavirus hiatus for golf. So give me Brooks Koepka to win the $3 million Open. Now I'm going to do my 2012 top NBA players. Honorable mentions for you. I have 6 of them. Steve Nash, Phoenix Suns, his last year as a Sun. Joe Johnson, Atlanta Hawks, and then traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs, and by the way, Nash was traded to the Lakers in 2012 as well. Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs, Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas Mavericks, Kevin Love, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose, obviously, honorable mention because he tore his ACL that year. And now my top 10. 10, Russell Westbrook, Oklahoma City Thunder, helping the Thunder get to the finals alongside Kevin Durant. 9, Tony Parker, San Antonio Spurs, emerged as the best player on the Spurs, leading them to a 1 seed, although they lost in the conference finals to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Rajon Rondo, Boston Celtics at number 8. He really was a triple-double machine that year, carrying the Celtics to the conference finals and Game 7. They had a 3-2 lead on LeBron James and the Heat, but they couldn't get it done. 7, Kobe Bryant, Los Angeles Lakers. This was probably one of the last years of peak Kobe Bryant. He carried the Lakers to the second round. They could have, that Oklahoma City series, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes in the best games, that could have gone longer than 5. That was a close 5. They could have won Game 2 and Game 4, but Durant led them to win. So you could argue that series against the Thunder should have gone 7. 6, Carmelo Anthony, New York Knicks. Carmelo Anthony single-handedly carried the Knicks to the postseason that year. Well, single-handedly is a little strong. Insanity happened that year as well. And then, obviously, the next season helped lead the Knicks off to an undefeated 6-0 start and to that surprising 54-win season. 5, Dwayne Wade, Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade, at the time, was still playing at a high level. That's when he really sacrificed for LeBron in 2012, but he was still awesome that year. 4, Dwight Howard, Orlando Magic, then Los Angeles Lakers. Dwight got hurt that year, but he was still the best big man in the NBA. He got traded to the Lakers and just wasn't the best fit there for whatever reason. 3, Chris Paul, Los Angeles Clippers, helping lead the Clippers to their first playoff series win in a long time. And then going to the second round, although swept by that great Spurs team. 2, Kevin Durant, Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant obviously became the second best player in the league, probably that season or the season before that. Just unbelievable that year, carrying the Thunder to the finals. A couple of those games against Miami were a little closer than some of these scores indicated in that series. And if there wasn't any doubt, number 1, LeBron James, Miami Heat, won his first of 2 back-to-back MVPs with the Heat, and won his first championship that season. And now I'm going to do my top games of 2012. A lot of honorable mentions here, 9 of them. Pacers Magic, Game 4 in the first round, May 5th of 2012, 101-99, Indiana overtime win. George Hill, 2 free throws late to clinch the game. Mavericks Thunder, April 30th, Game 2, first round, 102-99, Thunder win. Just a close game throughout. And Kevin Durant led the Thunder to a victory. 7, Heat Knicks, May 6th, Game 4, 89-87, Knicks win. Carmelo Anthony hits a big shot to save the Knicks from getting swept. 6, 76ers Celtics, May 14th, Game 2. Philly wins 82-81 to even up the series at 1 apiece. 5th, 76ers Celtics, May 12th, Game 1. 92-91 Celtics win Game 1 after Rajon Rondo steals the inbound pass. 4th, Bulls 76ers, May 10th, Game 6. 79-78 Philadelphia win, clinching the upset, quote-unquote. I put that quote-unquote because Derrick Rose tore his ACL and Joakim Noah was hurt in that series as well. So that's why that's always going to be an asterisk win for the 76ers. And for me, at least, I don't know if they would have beaten LeBron and the Heat. The Bulls fans claim that first championship, and the LeBron haters claim that championship, that first Miami championship, was asterisk because Derrick Rose got hurt. I said that a lot on the podcast. I don't agree with that narrative. LeBron and the Heat were the better team that year. And Sixers pull off the upset in Game 6 over the Bulls in a 1-point game in Philly. Celtics Hawks May 8th, Game 5, 87-86 Atlanta to keep themselves alive in that series. May 10th, Hawks Celtics Game 6, 83-80 Celtics clinch to go to the second round. And then Thunder Lakers May 18th, Game 3, 99-96 Lakers win to avoid a 3-0 series deficit in the second round. Now the top 10. 10th, Thunder Lakers May 19th, Game 4, 103-101 Oklahoma City to go up 3-1. The Lakers looked good in that game where they were up 10, but then came back the Thunder. They closed the game on like a 25-8 run, and the Thunder went up 3-1. 9th, Celtics Heat May 30th, Game 2, 115-110 Miami overtime win to go up 2-0 against the Celtics. That's another what-if series for me because obviously Game 1 and Game 7 were Heat blowouts. The Celtics won a game in overtime, which we'll get to. Celtics pulled away in Game 5. And then the Celtics, I think, won by double digits in Game 3, if I'm not mistaken. And then Game 2, Miami won in OT. So it's like a what-if series. Maybe you could argue Miami should have ended that series in 5. You could argue the Celtics should have ended that series in 5, amazingly enough. The Celtics could have won Game 7. That was a close game. But, yeah, Miami goes up 2-0 in that series. Grizzlies, Clippers, May 5th, Game 3, 87-86. Clippers win. A close Game 3 to go up 2-1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. 7th, Bulls, Knicks, April 7th, a regular season game. 199 Knicks overtime win. Carmelo Anthony game tying 3 to force overtime. And then the Carmelo Anthony game-winning 3 for the win. As the Knicks get the big win on Easter Sunday for the regular season. As they're trying to get that one of those last couple playoff spots in the East. 6th, Grizzlies, Clippers, May 11th, Game 6, 90-88, Memphis wins. Memphis comes from behind, forces a Game 7 on the road. Thunder, Spurs, May 27th, Game 1, 101-98, San Antonio win. The Thunder looked good. They're about to hand the Spurs their first loss of the postseason that year, and then the Spurs come back and go to 9-0 in the playoffs. 4th, Mavs, Thunder, April 28th, Game 1, 99-98, Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant, the game winner. 3rd, Heat, Celtics, June 3rd, Game 4, Eastern Conference Finals, 93-91, Boston overtime win to tie up that series at 2. That was a great game in TD Garden. That crowd was electric. Rajon Rondo led the way. 2, Heat, Thunder, June 14th, Game 2, 196, Miami. This was a close game in the finals that the Thunder almost came back and won. I remember Durant hit a big 3 to make it a 2-point game with 15 seconds left, and Miami hit clutch free throws to put it away. And number 1, Clippers, Grizzlies, April 29th, Game 1. Clippers come back from 27 down in Game 1 on the road to defeat the Grizzlies to go up 1-0 in that series. It was just an incredible comeback from the Clippers and Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and company. So that gets my honor for top NBA game of the calendar year 2012. Now I'm going to do my MLB closer rankings as we are now just over 24 hours away until the season gets underway. 30, Joe Jimenez, Tigers. I think this is the worst closer in the league. He just blew a lot of saves last year for the Tigers. 29, Michael Givens, Orioles. Michael Givens was a solid reliever, but he's somebody that I don't know if is equipped for the closer's role. 28, Tony Watson, Giants. Tony Watson's a solid veteran, but he's somebody that some of his stats are underwhelming. 27, Wade Davis, Rockies. Wade Davis is a player in decline. He's just not what he was with the Cubs and even, obviously, with the Royals. 26, Jose Leclerc, Rangers. Jose Leclerc is like Tony Watson. Like, he has some good stuff, but the numbers are just underwhelming. 25, Brandon Kinsler, Marlins. I remember Brandon Kinsler first became like a thing with the Twins. Career year, gets traded to Washington. Helps them out. Traded to the Cubs the next year. And he didn't really work out for Chicago. Him and I believe Daniel Murphy got traded to Chicago together. And then Kinsler wound up here in Miami, and now he's put in the closer's role. 24, Archie Bradley, Diamondbacks. Archie Bradley, like Jose Leclerc and even Tony Watson, a lot of tantalizing stuff, but there's just some stats like FIP that are just underwhelming. 23, Ian Kennedy, Royals. Ian Kennedy's just a veteran who had some success in the closer spot with the Royals last year, but I don't know if he'll be that good again. 22, Hector Neris, Phillies. He's also in that category with Bradley and Leclerc and Watson. Has some good stuff, but some underwhelming numbers. 21, Matt McGill, Mariners. Matt McGill is somebody that will be in a competition for the closer's job with Seattle. I'm not convinced he's actually going to be the guy, but he had some good numbers last year. 20, Mark Melancon, Braves. He found himself a home here with the Braves, but I'm not sure if he will follow it up. 19, Sean Doolittle, Nationals. I think that Doolittle will have a better year than last year. He had a good playoffs, and I think that'll carry over to the regular season. And I mean, a bounce-back year because the regular season wasn't that good, but he was good in the playoffs last year. 18, Alex Colomé, White Sox. Alex Colom's a good closer, but it's just weird. Some of these stats, FIP, a little underwhelming. Number 17, Hansel Robles, Angels. Hansel Robles has been a pleasant surprise for the Angels as their closer. I'm just not sure how good he is. 16, Giovanni Gallegos, Cardinals. I think Gallegos will be their closer over Andrew Miller. He's had better numbers lately than Andrew Miller. 15, Brad Hand, Indians. Brad Hand, I don't think is really as good as he was when the Indians acquired him. But I think he could be in for a revenge, bounce-back type of situation. 14, Taylor Rogers, Twins. I think Rogers is somebody that has been a little underrated the last years for Minnesota, but I just don't think he's as good as the next couple guys I'm going to mention. There's 3 guys that I kind of grouped together on purpose because they were all disappointing last year in a number of different ways, and I think are all capable of bouncing back, but there's one that I'm concerned with than the other 2. Craig Kimbrell, Chicago Cubs, Edwin Diaz, New York Mets, and Kenley Jansen, Los Angeles Dodgers. It's shocking that Kenley Jansen is not top 10, but the reality of the situation is that he's a closer in decline, especially in the situation where you're in a tie game rather than with the lead. He's just not there. And then Edwin Diaz and Craig Kimbrell, I think, are in for bounce-back seasons. I think Jansen will be a little better in a 60-game season, but his playoff success is a little underwhelming. 10, Keone Kela, Pirates. Kela, I think, is one of the more underrated closers in the game. I think that he can net the Pirates a nice haul. 9, Raisel Iglesias, Reds. Raisel Iglesias may not be as great as the eye test says, but maybe in a 60-game season, I think that he could be pretty darn good, and I think he's in for a bounce-back year from an ERA and FIP standpoint. 8, Roberto Osuna, Astros. Roberto Osuna had a good year at Houston last year. I think that he'll be good again this year. 7, Brandon Workman, Boston Red Sox. Brandon Workman, I think, has become the most underrated closer in the game. I think he can net back a nice haul for the Red Sox if he's traded this year. 6, Ken Giles, Blue Jays. Ken Giles was awesome last year with Toronto. I think there's a chance there's some regression here. I think that's why I kept him out of the top 5. But like Workman, I think Giles can net the Blue Jays something back. 5, Nick Anderson, Rays. Nick Anderson, after the trade from Miami to Tampa Bay, turned into an elite reliever. I ripped this trade at the time. He was just not that great with the Marlins. But once he joined Tampa Bay, he became something. And I think he's in for a good year this year. 4, Aroldis Chapman, New York Yankees. The reigning Mariano Rivera Award winner I have at number 4. I think him having COVID may result in a step back a little bit, but he's still a Aroldis Chapman, and I think he will put up some solid numbers for the most part. 3, Kirby Yates, San Diego Padres. Talk about underrated closers. Kirby Yates, I really don't think he's getting the attention he deserves, and I think people are starting to come around on it a little bit. He's really, really good. 2, Liam Hendriks, Athletics. Liam Hendriks had a fantastic year last year. There are some people calling for regression, but I just think that he's perfect in this role. And if there wasn't any doubt, number 1, Josh Hader, Milwaukee Brewers. He's simply just the best, not just closer, but reliever in all of baseball right now. I think the 60-game season could benefit Josh Hader and the Brewers. And he's somebody that I think, in terms of relievers, has the most value. But I just don't think the Brewers are likely to trade Josh Hader. And last, I'm going to do my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I lost yesterday with the Atlanta bet for MLS. I'm going to go back to MLS, and I am going to go with yet another dog. Plus 195, the same odds as Atlanta. I'm going to go with Colorado, the Rapids. I talked about them earlier in the show. I think that they are in for from desperation. I think they're going to get it done. So give me the Colorado Rapids to knock off the Minnesota United tonight and get on the board and save themselves. So that's it for the show today. I'll be back tonight with my Mega Baseball Predictions show. I will be back tomorrow with my regular show. Golf leaderboard results from the rest of summer camp games in soccer. Look ahead to opening night, pick those matchups, and a lot more. And I'll do my 2012 top 10 NHL players and games and my top 100 players in all of baseball, too. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.